Last time on
Danganronpa.
a survival knife. Well, a survival knife. Wait, that's a spear with a fleshy ornament on it is hanging from the wall. The spear is definitely it, right? Nice. My gosh, doesn't even have a refrigerator. Wonder where he got it from. Hey, this is. Yeah, it looks like it's poison. A fancy-looking treasure box covered in sparkling pink lights. It's totally standing out. Ah, could this be? Why is a notebook inside this treasure box like it's something important? I didn't ask you to my treasure box. I never said you were allowed to peek inside. Hey, that was close. When I come at you later, you would have seen the inside of the notebook. There's no way you wrote in that notebook. After all, Mommy can't even write. What is this? Piece of paper. Yeah, blue aluminum. Only my information. My ass. Can't believe he'd make us such a strange lie.
You're getting all right.
How do I put this? Because I've been getting all worked up about that Byakuya for no reason. Which means the great mystery that you think surrounds that Byakuya doesn't exist. But, because of your school memories, you never would have been betrayed in the first place. This is the last trial! Let's show some enthusiasm and kill each other! Hello everyone, it's Summer with we're back with another episode of Danganronpa. We're going to start off in post-commentary like we usually do before trial and go over all the items that we've gotten for equipment. You can see there's a lot more now. I'm just hovering over them. You can see the new stuff. I really can't give you a guide to where all the items are because there really isn't one because you can find them in a lot of stages. All I can say is play his stages a bunch of times and whatever you're missing, then look it up. Because every guide I've looked at, I found that I'm in a different stage. I can't. It's one of those things I can't even help you with because every guy is different and everyone has different information on this. I can't even give you straight information. I mean, I'm only playing the stages 3 times on normal, and I'll play it on hard once, and this is the items I come out with, so that's all I've been doing so far. But you can see we finished up 4 stages. Next one will be 5, whenever that comes. Yeah, there's probably stage 5. You don't know when or where. Or if there's even a stage 5, who knows? There could be something completely different. Meanwhile, vending machine, I'm just going to show you what we have everything here. You can see my percentage, you can see I have 21 coins left. Let's do the trial. And we're going to start, we got Envious Influence now, Menacing Focus, which means we're really going to start really slaughtering. Oh yes, we also got Tranquility, we got Upshift. We're just going to increase our aiming speed, which is going to help a little bit. We got Cheat Code, Algorithm, Silver Spoon, which means we're going to have a lot more health. We got Neutral Liberation, we got Delusion, which recovers our influence gauge. These trials are best to have this skill. It will help so damn much. We still have Neutral Liberation, we have Silent Massage still. You know, the ones that we had since the beginning, Melodious Voice. You also got Fine Sword Maneuver still. Oh, and also Moonsault. You can see we got a good amount of skills for this one. I should probably read the thing at the bottom first before we go on. Because, well, you know I have a habit of missing that. The trickster Nagito was brutally murdered. His unpredictable death has left a looming shadow of mystery in the hearts of Hajime and the others. Scroll a little faster, please. I'm out reading you. Who is the traitor? What was the clue Nagito left? Will they be able to see the light within the darkness? Between hope and despair. Thank you. Now open up the handbook and we'll look at the true bullets and then we'll set our difficulty and then we're on our way. True bullets, let's start. Monokuma File 5. The victim is Nagito Kameda. The body was discovered inside the warehouse near the Monokuma plushie factory. The estimated time of death is believed to be noon sharp. Notice there are spear stabs in his stomach. There are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there is a laceration of his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand. Ouch. Torture wounds. Both Nagito's legs were tied with rope, and each rope was tied to nearby pillars, which prevented him from moving. His thighs are also covered with a lot of stab wounds. Burned rope. The rope that was tied to Nagito's right arm burnt off. However, Nagito's right sleeve still looked clean. Survival knife. A survival knife that stabbed into Nagito's right hand. A knife from the military base. It's safe to assume that the wounds on Nagito's legs and left arm were caused by this knife. Blood left hand. The blood was splattered on the palm of Nagito's left hand. For some reason, splatter cuts off in the middle of his palm. Also, the back of his left hand has an unnatural blood stain that is only above the middle joints of his fingers. Duct tape. Nagito's mouth was covered in duct tape, however, the blood that splattered onto his face was under the duct tape. It itself had a lot of crinkles in it, as if Nagito was desperately moving his mouth underneath it. Spear of Gunganir. The spear impaled through Nagito's stomach. A cord with an iron weight at the end of it extends from the back of the handle. For some reason, only the section where the cord and weight touch is bloody. Monokuma plushie. A life-size Monokuma plushie that was found on the floor near the fire's origin point. There's a huge bloody hole in its stomach as if it was stabbed. Glowing girder. A faint red line was on the ceiling girder inside the goods warehouse. Monokuma panels. A lot of tipped over Monokuma panels were scattered around the goods warehouse. In one area, the panels seemed to be laying on top of each other in a straight, orderly line. Oil lighter. Found at the fire's origin point. It looks like this is what caused the fire. MP3 player. An MP3 player comes with speakers. The music that was blaring to the warehouse when Hajime and the others arrived was coming from this. Sonya's account. Sonya secretly used one of the bombs from the military base at the ancient ruins and found out the bombs were fake. At the time, Mommy was apparently peeking at the whole thing. Monokuma's account. Monokuma knew all along that the bombs were fake, or he apparently never revealed that fact to anyone. Mommy's notebook. The diary that Mommy updated every day. Or did she? According to Monokuma, Mommy can't write. Gas mask and gloves. These were hidden in Nagito's cottage under his bed. Piece of blue paper. Found in Nagito's cottage under his bed. It's a round, thin piece of aluminum paper. Monokuma's special poison. Poison found inside the refrigerator at Nagito's cottage. The warning label on the back of the bottle states, this enchanted liquid is highly potent and takes effect immediately. Please handle with care. Though its vitality is low, this liquid is very dangerous when vaporized and gaseous state is heavier than air. It breaks down in minutes and is accessible to hydrolysis, so it's possible for you to poison someone to death without any complications. Keep this liquid secure by storing it in a cool place in glass or plastic container away from sunlight. And Hoseby Academy file. This file contains the Hoseby Academy student profiles for all 16 students participating in the school trip. Due to the fact that Monokuma forged Trader's profile, looking at this won't help identify who the traitor is. And as our troop bullets, you can see we have our skills, we have our troop bullets, we have our presence and everything. Our difficulty will be set to kind like it always is. Just remember that means just a harder variant. And the rating still apply. Let's proceed. All rise!
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial. During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it. If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island. Oh my, Monami? My cute little sister? You're awfully quiet. What's happened to you? You've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon? Because you're a rabbit? Yes, no! One more time! Jeez, how about this one?
He's giving it everything he's got.
It's useless.
But it's not punishment time.
Please stop. I feel bad for Monomi.
You're right. Now's not the time for me to horse around with Monami. The class trial has started, after all. The victim this time is Nagito, who is attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake. Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious.
If he was killed for trying to reveal the traitor, that traitor is obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
No, that might not be it.
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call out when we were in danger. Wait. Don't tell me you're the traitor.
Don't say something so stupid. There's no way in hell I'm the traitor.
Now that's more like it. Why don't you get silly and start arguing already?
Traitor, and the killer who murdered Nagito is here, right? Are they the same person? Or make your argument. Torture room, survival night, duct tape, Monokuma plushie, Monokuma panels, oil lighter, and Monokuma's account. Monokuma's a pound.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place. If so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first.
That was Fuyuhiko.
I found it by coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone.
Why did the killer have to torture Nagito? No. Wounds on Nagito's body really caused by torture in the first place?
The killer didn't tape
Ooh,
Nagito's
this
mouth
one's
to
gonna
shut
be a
him
fun
up.
one, guys.
I'm telling you, they were
I mean, this is gonna be
torturing him.
crazy.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
Boom!
No, that's wrong.
But Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything. If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that.
I'm prepared. I just realized it. It's a trap.
Trap?
Stupid Hajime. You got caught in that trap.
Stupid! Rebuttal showdown! Torture wounds, burned rope, survival knife, duct tape, spear of Gunganir, Monokuma flushing oil lighter. But yeah, can we have Admiral Trap Bar over here? Shut up.
You obviously assumed he couldn't talk, right?
Faster,
But
me!
that was the
Faster!
trap.
You can cut faster than that! More speed!
They wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
Come on, move your speed! There you go.
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth...
That works too.
You obviously assumed he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated. I can't back down.
Duel! Yeah, da 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 da.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention. This is how it went. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bombs. Then, after they killed him,
Nope, shut up!
Allow me to cut through those words.
Silence, pest!
No, There's no doubt Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he was beat up.
What did you say?
Who cares about the duct tape? We might as well settle this with rock, paper,
I
scissors.
love you, Kozuichi.
We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began.
He's fun.
Why do you always side with Hajime? Do you have a crush on him or something?
Why, yes. Are you in elementary school or something? Actually, I think he has a...
You were with us when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right? The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember?
The blood on his face came from his arm wounds. Which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were even wounded.
And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth. He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape.
Perhaps the duct tape was used so we wouldn't be able to scream. Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut.
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity.
They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
Then, are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer?
If so, it's friggin' crazy. Did they go psycho or something?
No, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard. If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence.
The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence?
We can't think of any other reason.
But who could have done that? When the fire occurred, everyone in this room was gathered in front of the warehouse.
Yeah. And right after I opened the warehouse door, the flames started burning from the very back.
Which means, it is plausible to think that nobody here set the fire.
The killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
Even if it was only a coincidence, the timing was just too perfect.
Based on the pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this.
Some kind of setup? Like what?
I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
That's our Miss Sonia. You have such an amazingly high intellect. Alrighty then, let's think about this based on what Miss Sonia thinks. Is that okay, Miss Sonia?
Damn right it is!
The reason for the fire, huh? They're right. We need to clear that up first. Make your argument! Torture wounds, burned rope, survival knife, duct tape, Makuma plushie, Makuma panels, and oil lighter.
The direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
They probably just threw the lighter.
Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Some way?
Maybe they used invisible thread.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Or perhaps opening the door caused intense wind pressure to tip over the lighter.
Some kind of setup would you start that fire? So what could it be?
The direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
The killer used
I'm
some
trying
kind of
not to say a certain thing right now, because you know there's an obvious joke here. You know there's an obvious
Some
joke.
kind of setup?
So I'm just trying to hold my tongue
Did
and
they
not
use
do
the
it.
oil as an improvised fuse?
Let's get rid of some of this white noise.
They probably just threw the lighter.
Based on the shape of that oil lighter,
I just want to let you guys know I have actually finished the game and I've seen the ending.
How the flame is lit.
And
If they
I was
tipped over
watching
the lighter in some
someone.
way,
Ooh, the fan bases.
it could have ignited the
Can I
curtain.
bring it up now because now's a good time because we're in the
Some
thing?
way.
Sure, I mean, ooh!
Maybe they used invisible thread.
I'm done with static. That's the end of the white noise.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
But yeah, I was watching someone and
Or perhaps
ooh,
opening
the
door
chat was
caused-
volatile. I'll explain a little more
I agree
later.
with that.
But for now, we gotta go back to the game.
I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
Just as I thought, it was the wind pressure. A dust devil blown here from glorious Japan.
No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels. A huge number of tipped-over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right? It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were laying on top of each other in a single line. Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin.
Does that mean anything?
The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect.
A domino effect. You mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over?
In place of those tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels. So when we opened the warehouse door, the first panel toppled into the second. And from there, they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
But wouldn't it be obvious that those big panels were falling over?
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse, so we wouldn't notice them.
So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
And the music too.
And one more thing. There was something else the killer did to hide the domino effect, right?
I got ahead of it. The killer did one other thing that had the domino effect, and that was the MP3 player I just mentioned.
I see! You're talking about the MP3 player, right? That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse masked the sound of the falling panels.
And so the warehouse felt even darker because our eyes were still used to the bright sunlight outside. Within that darkness, a loud hymnal blared throughout the warehouse at full volume. Hey, do you guys hear something? Yeah, it's really damn loud. Does Nagito like listening to this depressing crap? No, I'm not talking about the music. As if on cue, it suddenly started. I don't mean a Kanye's massage.
That's it. So the strange sound was actually the sound of the panels falling.
But those sounds weren't the only strange thing, right? Looking back on it, it was also strange when we opened the door to the warehouse.
It's fine. I'll open it slowly. No, that's not the problem! Seriously, it'll be fine! Those words, Akane brushed off everyone's warnings and slowly opened the door to the warehouse. Clatter, clatter, clatter. Huh, it's not opening. Is there something blocking the door? I can barely open it. I knew it! trap. Seriously, just stop it, okay? Didn't I tell you he'll be fine? I just gotta use a little more force. What happened to opening it slowly? Akane ignored the protest, and with a mighty kick, the door flew open.
Ah, so the door was being blocked by a Monokuma panel.
And when we opened the door, the domino effect started, and the falling panels eventually reached the lighter.
Yeah, and that's how the warehouse caught on fire. At least, that's how it looks.
You don't look so sure.
At the time, Akane mentioned that she could barely open the door.
Because the panel was blocking it, right?
With the blocked doorway, there wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right?
Is that a problem?
It's a major problem. I mean, that door was the only entrance to the warehouse.
That door was the only entrance to the warehouse. See, the problem Jody's talking about is...
I see!
Yep, couldn't have left.
If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened, the killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right?
Now that you mention it.
Does that mean they were hiding inside?
Who? We were all outside the warehouse, you know.
Based on the patterns up until now, I believe some kind of setup was used.
You don't have to think so hard. There's actually only one person who could have possibly done this.
Huh?
You don't mean...
But if that's true, this murder...
Hajime? What do you mean?
The person who set the domino effect inside the warehouse. There's only one person who could have done that. I like the spear effect.
This is my answer! What if it was Nagito?
Why'd you bring him up? He's the victim, you know.
He wasn't just the victim. Maybe.
Huh?
Not just the victim? What does that mean?
He was the victim. And he was the perpetrator, too. Maybe.
Are you saying this was a suicide? Don't be stupid. His body was covered in torture wounds. Or did you already forget? Are you saying those were all self-inflicted?
But Nagito might do something like that, don't you think?
That's not the issue. He was tied up, remember? Even for a creep like Nagito, it'd be impossible for him to tie up his own arms and legs.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, as long as you understand.
It seems we need to discuss how Nagito was able to tie himself up.
Need to discuss? That's not necessary at all. No matter how much you think about it, it's clearly impossible.
Like you said, it seems impossible if you think about it, but... I feel like I'm overlooking something. Make your argument! Torture wounds, burned road, survival knife, duct tape, Monokuma plushie, Monokuma panels, and oil lighter.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but... tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
First one should Nagito commit suicide is correct. Nagito should have tied himself up too. That's okay, right? Damn, Connie, your front tail jokes.
No,
I don't have time to respond to anything. Sorry, guys. I'll keep that thought. I had one argument go for the next one.
Hold on a sec. Isn't that premise flawed?
What? I mean, it's no mistake that his arms and legs were...
No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms. The rope on his right arm was completely burnt up. Based on that, you can't say he was tied up.
That was just burned by the fire. He should have been tied up before then.
It burned because of the fire. Like you said, it might look like that. But that was part of the trap. There's concrete evidence that proves it.
Prove that the burnt rope on Nagito's right arm is a trap. His right sleeve.
I see.
Take a close look at his right sleeve. Even though the rope was burnt up, his sleeve wasn't burned at all. Wouldn't you agree? A burn like this, no matter how you think about it, is unnatural. That rope was burned in advance so it would look like it was burned in the fire.
Then Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right? He was able to move it freely, right?
Yeah, that should be the case.
Hajime, that's awesome! I'll let you cop a feel if you want.
Akane, you should not give it away for free. Make sure they pay you first.
That's definitely wrong.
Fine. I just gotta get a Benjamin from him before I let him touch me, right?
That's not what I meant. I'm talking about Nagito. I mean, even if his right hand wasn't tied up, the knife was still stabbed into it, you know?
It's impossible to stab a knife into your right hand with your right hand. Ah, that much is obvious.
Hajime, you tricked me! Give me back that Benjamin!
Not only did she try to charge me, now she wants the money back? What the heck?
Hold on. There should be a way.
Then hurry up and spill it.
If it's something lame, I'll make you give back the Benjamin with 10,000% interest.
A way to set yourself in your right hand using only your right hand. It's okay. There's definitely an answer for this. Alright, we got another make your argument. Make your argument! Torture wounds, burned rope, survival knife, Monokuma plushie, blonde girder, Monokuma panels, and oil lighter.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Maybe he propped the knife somehow? And slammed his right hand down on it?
Propped it onto what?
If he just propped the knife, he could have used his bound left hand.
If you're tied up, your arms won't bend that easily. We don't know if his left hand could even reach his right hand.
If Nagito could only use his right hand to stab himself in the palm, then how did he do it? There's a very easy way,
Even
but
if
yeah, I
Nagito's
just want to
right hand was free,
mention that last time
how
I
could he
watched
stab
stream of
his
this,
right hand with
it was
his
a
right
real
hand?
volatile one where people were actually attacking
he
each other.
threw
I
the
just
knife
want to bring it
into
up
the
in
air
comments to be civil.
And let the knife fall.
I mean, yeah, we all have our favorite and least favorite, but
Could he
keep the
stab his hand that
discussion not attacking each other.
Is he a throwing
Yeah, I
knife
messed with the characters
expert?
a little bit, but
Maybe
they're a
he
lot of
propped the
fun.
knife somehow?
I do think the cast does go together very well for this game, so that's why I just wanted to mention that. That's all, carry on, and by the way, That was an easy one.
The life-size Monokuma plushie. He must have used that to prop the knife.
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach. He inserted the knife handle into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it. If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him, and it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie.
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
I see. So that's the trick.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something.
A bleeding plushie is super scary. It's got the same fear factor as a doll whose hair grows too long.
After stabbing his hand, he no longer needed the plushie, so he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
He probably thought the fire would incinerate it and destroy the evidence.
So what do you think now, Fuyuhiko?
I get what you're saying about the wound on his right hand, but there's still one huge problem. The spear. Basically, you're saying Nagito committed suicide by impaling himself with a spear, right? If you think about the order, getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito. If that's true, how is that possible? He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into it and his left hand was all tied up.
Then he probably took the spear first, and as he endured the pain, he stabbed the knife into his right hand.
There is a limit to his constitution. If you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch all that.
Like I said, if you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Say it one more time.
Kazuichi!
I need to record it. For reasons.
Kazuichi!
Bastard, you better cut it out!
Like she said, in that condition, it's very difficult to stab yourself with a spear. It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stabbed into your right hand while your left hand is tied up.
So you're saying it's impossible?
But no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else.
I also agree with that. To think that one of us could kill someone with such cruelty, I could never believe that.
You say you can't believe it? You just don't want to believe it, right? But that's why you keep getting betrayed over and over again, right? Same goes for this time, too.
You just shut your mouth. It's against the rules to interfere with everyone. If you even think about doing anything, I have a plan of my own.
Monome's sassing me!
But it's just as Monokuma said. We've been betrayed over and over again so far, so... This might also be the same. Calling this a suicide takes too much for granted, and it's too convenient.
Then are you saying there is a killer among us, Kazuichi?
Of course that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
As Kazuichi said, it's true we've been constantly betrayed. But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone. No matter how many times I may be betrayed, I still want to believe in everyone.
I also want to believe that there's no killer, but suicide is unimaginable.
Do you really think so?
But you said it too. It'd be impossible for him to stab himself with a spear in his condition.
I did say difficult, but I never said impossible.
Huh?
I feel that there's some way he could have stabbed himself with that spear.
What kind of way?
I don't know.
You don't know.
It's impossible to figure out by myself. So let's think about it together. That's how we made it this far up till now. Everyone working together.
That's right. We made it through several ordeals up till now by doing that. Then, even now...
Alright, let's do this.
Make your argument! Torture wounds, burned rope, survival knife, blood on left hand, duct tape, Monokuma plushie, and oil lighter.
How did Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's work together and think this through. When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand. If that's the case, the only other way is...
He used his teeth? Or maybe he used his front tail. I know guys have tails that get hard when they're grabbed.
What are you saying?
A blushing Miss Sonia is freaking awesome!
If Nagito committed suicide, he must have had to use that spear to stab himself. Even if his arms and legs were tied up, there's no doubt he used some part of his body. The only thing he could have used is...
How did Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's work together and think this through.
His front tail. God dang it, Akane. Why do you have to
When
be
the spear
so
stabbed Nagito,
lewd?
his right hand was covered by the
You
knife,
need to
right?
focus.
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand.
Nope.
No, that's wrong. Hold on. It's still too early to dismiss the possibility that he used his left hand.
Why? I mean, his left hand was tied up, you know?
But there was something off about his left hand. The bloodstain on the palm of his hand. Don't you think it looked somewhat strange? He only had blood on the lower area of his palm. Beyond that point, the bloodstain suddenly cuts off, right?
When the blood splattered, that's as far as it reached, right?
That settles the description of that bloodstain, but it's not the only unnatural bloodstain. Look, there's blood on the back of his hand, around the middle joints of his fingers.
Like you said, it looks like an unnatural bloodstain, but what's wrong with that?
We might need to think and use our imaginations for a bit. If there's blood on his palm and the back of his hand, what was his left hand doing as the blood splattered?
What was Nagito's left hand doing when the blood splattered? Gripping.
I see! When the blood splattered, he was probably gripping with his left hand. That's why there's such a strange-looking bloodstain on his palm and the back of his hand.
Was he grabbing his front tail?
Akane! You and that...
Perish the thought! He was obviously grabbing the spear! Now that you mention it, compared to the rest of his body, the wounds on his left arm are pretty mild. He probably made his wounds mild on purpose, so he could keep his strength while he gripped the spear.
But even if he held the spear with his tied up left hand, it'd be impossible for him to stab himself.
That's right. That's the problem.
Hey, Chiaki, what do you think? Hey, don't tell me you're getting sleepy.
At times like this, you should always strike from a good angle, just like fixing an old TV.
Oh, I got it. Maybe. Yeah, like I thought. It's no mistake that Nagito was gripping the spear. I think. However, what's important is what section of the spear he was gripping.
Which end of the spear was he holding on to? The cord.
I see. That's it. Instead of the handle, Nagito must have been holding on to the cord. There was a metal weight at the tip of the cord, but there were bloodstains on that part too. Plus, the joint between the weight and the cord had a bloodstain shape like it was cut off by something.
Isn't the size of that cut-off section about the same size as a human fist?
Ah, you're right. So this is the part Nagito was gripping, huh? And then the blood that was supposed to end up here ended up getting on Nagito's left hand.
But why is it so important to know which part of the spear he was gripping?
You're not gonna say he gripped the tip of the cord, swung the spear around, and stabbed himself, right?
That is where the clue to solve this mystery resides. Right, Chiaki? I am sorry. Of course this mystery will not be solved that easily.
Nagito was gripping the cord staying from the butt of the spear with his left hand. But from there, how would he stab himself in the stomach with the spear?
It seems we are stuck. Shall we have tea time?
At a time like this, how about we stick to the plan to think one step at a time instead of expecting the answers all at once?
That's a long plan name.
One step at a time? What does that mean?
Let's focus on the spear first. Namely, where it was and how it was positioned just before it impaled Nagito.
How it was positioned.
Nagito was facing up and the spear was stabbed through his stomach. So if it's just before that... That's it! Could it be? See the spear, the fact that Nagito was holding the tip of the cord attachment. But if I put those together and think about it, I should be able to figure out where the spear was and what's in before it stabbed Nagito. Yeah. Logic dive. 3, 2, 1. And we're going down the tunnel. This one's going to be a little bit of a scenic route. As you can see, we got our Sonic 2 skills. We're using the actual bottom of the course to actually help us. That's the big key here, is to keep an eye on the bottom and try to be on the space to the left or the right of the other one as we go through. As you can see, as soon as I know one's coming up, I always move out of the square it's on. Idiot like me jumps over the square that boosts you and over the ramp like an idiot and falls into a hole. And then takes another hit. That's the third hit on this course so far, and here he comes to jump again. This time he's gonna be stupid, and up he goes. Question 1. Where was the spear just before it impaled Nagito? It was above Nagito. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? You spin this around, gotta avoid these moving things again. These things are a little bit of a pain in the fucking arse, if you get my drift. I mean, those are the most annoying parts of this, besides having to do the jumps to nothing. That was not a gap, but I did it anyway. Around all those, there's boost there, I'm not gonna use it. Question 2. Besides the spear, what else was above Nagito? The ceiling girder. You guys get where I'm going with this, right? Go one question left. 3, 4. Nope, 1, 2, 3. They love doing the symmetrical pattern! Stupid things. I hate those things with a passion, by the way. But yeah, not too bad if you've ever played Sonic 2 or Sonic Knuckles, well, Knuckles Chaotix. Question 3. What connects both the spear and the ceiling girder? The spear's cord. Get where I'm going with this, right? Dive results. Was the spear just before? Where was the spear just before it impaled Nagito? Above Nagito. The spear was above Nagito. A ceiling girder. What item connects both the spear and the ceiling girder? The spear cord. Yeah, that wasn't too bad.
It's all coming together. The spear impaled Nagito as he was laying face up. It must have been perpendicular to him just before that.
Perpendicular? In the middle of the air?
If Nagito did that all by himself, did he have some sort of ESP?
That'd be awesome, but he probably used the ceiling girder directly above him.
Nagito probably slung the cord over the ceiling girder, and using that as a support. He hoisted the spear directly above him. And if Nagito let go of the cord, the spear would have fallen and impaled him while he was laying face up.
I noticed a slight red streak on the ceiling girder. It probably got smeared there during the setup.
The blood on the cord probably rubbed off on the ceiling girder as the spear was falling. So, how about it? Using this method, Nagito could have impaled himself with the spear.
Are you serious? He really committed suicide? Like that?
He probably chose that spear so he could commit suicide like that. If someone else did this, there's no reason they'd go to all this trouble just to kill someone with a spear.
I agree. When I was investigating this case, I kept thinking over and over how strange it was. Why did the killer use the knife and the spear so differently?
So you're saying he needed to use that spear to pull off his trick?
Then, this is for real? He really committed suicide? Every single wound on his body. That was all him?
Not just that, he did all that while he was gripping the spear? That spear should not have stabbed Nagito until the very end. Which means Nagito wounded himself while he was gripping that spear, right?
Did he put the duct tape on his mouth too?
He probably covered his own mouth so we wouldn't hear him screaming in pain.
Did he need to go that far? That's beyond crazy. Why would he do that to himself?
He was probably trying to get us to make a mistake. By committing a suicide that looked like a murder, he was trying to steer us toward the wrong answer. His goal was to get us all executed.
And that's why he stabbed himself over and over again?
Did he want us to die that bad?
That's messed up. That's seriously so messed up.
Yeah, that's our Nagito.
Jeez, I was starting to feel a little sympathetic toward him. How stupid of me. I completely underestimated his capacity for malice. Mind-boggling malice that threatens us even after he's died. That's the form his malice took. I'd forgotten all about it until now. If he was here now, he'd probably be sneering at me.
However, There is one thing I still do not understand. He said he would reveal the traitor, right? Whatever became of that?
He was probably planning to kill the traitor along with the rest of us.
So why did he not just do that in the first place? If he had no qualms with killing everyone, he did not have to cause a bomb scare to reveal the traitor.
I bet the bomb scare was part of the strategy behind this trick. He made us split up and search for a bomb so none of us would have an alibi. He created a scenario where any of us could have killed him.
He tried to make us doubt each other and tried to hide the truth behind his suicide.
Did he cause a bomb scare for that reason alone?
He's a fucking bastard who killed himself for his delusions of grandeur. It's not that unthinkable.
You are right, I suppose.
Yeah, it appears we've come to a conclusion. The bastard Nagito committed suicide. It was all done by him so we'd be executed.
That should be okay, right? Right?
What? You're not satisfied yet?
No, I agree that Nagito killed himself, but I feel like there's something that doesn't make sense. It's probably just my imagination.
Why? I mean, I still don't understand what she's talking about. I don't think it's a mistake to assume that Nagito committed suicide, but... why do I feel so uneasy about it? Because we don't know who the traitor is, or...
So what are you gonna do? Is it okay to proceed with the voting time?
What do you think, Akane?
Well, there's no doubt Nagito's death was a suicide. Oh well, I guess my gut is wrong sometimes.
You are right. It is not as though we can draw any other conclusion.
Then it's okay to end it here, huh? That means we're done with this last class trial and we can leave this island, right? It's okay to reach such a happy ending, right?
Then it's okay? It's okay to say, you've decided on the killer? Understood. Then voting time.
Hold it!
No, hold on a sec.
Hold on. Why?
Sorry, just a little more. I want you guys to wait just a little more. I can't help but feel like there's still something we overlooked.
Like who the traitor is?
But the issue here is who killed Nagito, right? Even if we identify the traitor, the conclusion won't change.
That's true, but...
The mystery isn't just about who the traitor is.
Huh?
No matter how you look at it, Nagito's death is a suicide. But... I'm a little worried, you know? I'm worried about starting the voting time while there's still a mystery.
Hey, what do you mean it's not about who the traitor is? What kind of mystery is left?
There's just one thing that doesn't make sense, and it relates to Nagito's death. Plus, it's something even Nagito couldn't influence. He couldn't even tamper with the evidence for it.
It's only related to Nagito's death. It's something that he couldn't even have messed with.
You were gonna keep going? Here I thought we were finally finished.
It's only related to Nagito's death. A piece of evidence that he could even mess with.
I see! Is it about the Monokuma file?
Yeah, that's it.
Huh? There was something suspicious in the Monokuma file?
The victim is Nagito Kameda. The body was discovered inside the warehouse near the Monokuma plushie factory. The estimated time of death is believed to be noon sharp. Notice there are spear stuck in his stomach. There are multiple stab wounds on each side. Okay, excuse me. Furthermore, there's a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand. The suspicious part of the Monokuma file that Chiaki's worried about is... What is it? What's hidden in the Monokuma file? Hangman's Gambit! Oh, this one's an easy one to tell already. What's suspicious about the Monokuma file? I'm gonna admit now, if you're still trying to get the chapter, well, complete one chapter without damage, this is the wrong chapter to do it. If you don't have it by now, go back to an earlier chapter and do it, because this stuff gets even more insane, as you can see. And you see I just lost an S, I gotta get rid of that F. No. Cause! And you know, there's no... Oh! There it is. Of! Will you realize what it is? D! E! Let's get rid of that. That's gonna mess me over. There's an A on the screen, you ding dong! Get it! Woohoo! A! Just need a T and H. Yeah! There's the T! No! The T is dead! There is no time for T. There's a T! T! H! Cause of death! That was intense.
In this particular case's Monokuma file, there's no specific cause of death.
Notice your spear set in his stomach. There are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there is a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand.
Isn't that weird? Until now, the files always specified the cause of death.
But the cause of death is obvious, is it not? The spear in Nagito's stomach. It is obvious just by looking at it that it was a cause of death.
Maybe it's not included if it's not important enough to write about.
Well, Monokuma?
I plead the fifth!
There he goes again! I'm so appalled that I have nothing to say.
But even during Gundam's case, and before during Mikan's case, the thing he purposely omitted from the Monokuma file was always the most important mystery in the case.
Ding ding!
Are you saying that applies this time too?
Hold on a sec. Then, are you saying there's more to Nagito's death?
Yep.
Are you suggesting, again, that his death wasn't a suicide?
Possible.
You guys were the ones who said it was a suicide in the first place.
No, I don't think it's a mistake to call Nagito's death a suicide, but it's not just a suicide.
It's a murder
Come to
suicide.
think of it. Did Nagito really commit suicide just to get us all killed?
Are you sticking up for him?
That's not what I meant. I mean it in a bad sense.
Bad sense?
I just remembered that his malice always defied our expectations, and that concerns me. For example, would that malice just end here? Did Nagito's malice drive him to risk his life for a truth we'd reach this easily? I mean, this is Nagito we're talking about, you know?
How interesting! You sure do believe in Nagito, huh? Because you believe in his malice, you continue to suspect his malice. I see. I guess that's what passes for friendship these days.
What friendship?
What should we do, you guys? Should we proceed with the vote? I think we should keep going until everyone is satisfied, even if it's just to be safe.
You're right. We only get one chance to vote after all.
Just to be safe, huh? Guess I have no choice. If that's the case, I'll do my best to go along with it.
This is friggin' annoying. But if you guys say you're doing it, there's no way I'm gonna back out.
Hey, Monokuma! You heard us. The voting's gonna have to wait!
We've come this far. Let's work hard till the very end. If we work together, everything should be all right. That's what I believe.
Aww. Splendid. You guys are so splendid right now. That's right. If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you.
If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you, huh? Now I think about it, Nagito said the same thing. The absolute hope that can overcome any despair. He said he was yearning for that. Then, the situation we're in might be the thing that Nagito wanted all along. No, never mind. I'm probably overthinking. Glorious Bastard Nagito, now in stores.
No, no!
Man, my heart was racing like crazy when I thought the voting time was gonna start, but... When you think about it rationally, there's no way it was gonna happen. We haven't done this bit yet. Most of the players probably figured that out too. You're the only one who didn't know. Isn't that right, Mon-ami? Hey, how much longer are you playing to sulk? Let's get along like we always do. Oh. Alright, you passed. I should have measured by how long you can stand in the silence when you're all alone with someone else. So, Mon-ami and I are the best of the best friends. Don't say such stupid things. I hate you so much right now. Enough! Why do I have to be hated that much? Besides, the fact that you snap at me like that, I don't trust you at all. Not even a teeny tiny 1 millimeter bit. How sad. None of your friends so much more shameful than being betrayed by a friend, you know. Line stealer. How are you friends in the first place? As your older brother, let me say this. You're not even my brother. It's not to live a life without friendship. I think it's I'm watching a high school rom-com full of guys. Well, maybe some match for that. How you feeling, Warriors? I like the man bait. Eerie on Ice. Okay, I actually haven't seen that one yet, but I've heard of it, a lot about it. I'm gonna end the episode here. I hope you guys have fun. See you on the next one. Nagito, why? God dang it. Oh, this trial. This is where it gets frustrating. I gotta admit, this is getting to a point where I still don't know who did it. I mean, I have a feeling I know, but everything else is congealed into one nice tight package. I know everything, except for that one little thing I need to wrap the bow on it. And that's who did it. I really have a bad feeling, though. This is really not going well. I have a bad feeling about the ending of this trial, and I hope it's not who I think it is. All I can do is hope, because, well, the 6 people left, I'm on good terms with a lot of them. I have a good chance of actually losing someone I like. Dang! And a bunch I'm neutral for. So yeah, I hope you had fun. I'll see you on the next one where we finish this trial. See you then.